This is the Halftime Show with Omar Al-Duri on Pulse 95.
Salam and welcome to the Halftime Show on Pulse 95 Radio, live from the heart of Sharjah. Well, today's show has a cricket feel to it, and seeing that it's cricket season, why not have a professional cricket player on the show? Abdulah Ghazi has been on before, but he's actually talking to us live from the venue where he just played at. The pro cricket player who's playing at the ICC Arabian Cricket League is going to be live on the show right after this. So make sure you stay tuned for more on the only place to be at 3, the Halftime Show on Pulse 95 Radio.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar Al-Duri on Pulse 95.
And welcome to the Halftime Show on Pulse 95 Radio. Remember, you can catch it every Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, 3 to 4 UAE time. And if you do miss the show, head over to our podcast, Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, or even YouTube channel, Pulse 95 Radio. We are there. Abdulah Ghazi is on the show. Abdullah, welcome to the show, my man.
Hi, assalamu alaikum. Thank you for having me.
Wa alaikum salam, wa alaikum salam. Now, listen, you are reporting to us from the venue right now. How was the cricket tonight? And tell us, what are you participating in right now?
It was a tough game. He just finished like 20 minutes ago. So as you can see, I'm still in my kit. I haven't showered anything. So I said, let me just set up and quickly have a chat with you. It was a good game. It's one of the top leagues in the country that's going on. We were playing one of the toughest side. Unfortunately, we lost, but it was a good learning. You know, you learn your mistakes. You see how you can improve, because the margin of error is very limited. You know, when you're playing against other professional players who day in, day out practice, play, there's very less chances of a fluke happening. You know, it's more consistency. So it's either him or it's you.
How has it been since the last time we spoke? Because I feel like there's been a lot of growth in your progress as well.
Yes, alhamdulillah, it's been good. You know, we've been playing throughout the summer as well. Not many games, but like at least once a week we were still playing. With my club, we won 2 tournaments that we were participating in. One was being played in Ajman, the other one was in Sharjah, and it was very good rhythm. I got to I got good opportunities by the club, and I got to perform one of the finals. I delivered well, and that's very good for the confidence when you're consistently playing. This is what you need, because you're constantly learning, constantly trying to improve, constantly seeing mistakes. You make new mistakes every time because you rectified the old one, and then it gives you the opportunity to fix the new mistakes, and you're again trying to control the probability of making a mistake.
And just to tell the viewers, the club you're playing for, shout out to the club you're playing for. Who are you playing for at the moment?
Yeah, so a big shout out to Solar Winds. I'm playing currently for Solar Winds. I was last time when I came on the show, I was playing from a different club. This is it is one of my older clubs, but I haven't played with them in a while. But I've reconnected, and the season I'm playing with them. And now that the weather's nicer, so the games have really kicked off. We literally have 4 games. We had 4. The 4th one is actually tomorrow evening. So it's back to back, and it's a lot of fun, to be honest. We love to play this, even though it gets tiring, but still, it's every time you get on the field, you meet your teammates, and you just disconnect with everything else, and it's a different world you're in.
I noticed when you came on the Solar Winds logo on the left and the badge on the right, which
yeah, so if you could see, so this is the team name. Then we've got the sponsors over here, and this is the ICC Arabian Cricket League, which is currently going on in the ICC Global Cricket Academy at Sport City.
Fantastic.
That's where the International Cricket Council Global Cricket Academy and their head office is based. So they organize the leagues over there.
Tell me, one of the things I always ask different athletes that come on the show, how much of it is mental, and what have you done to stay on top of it mentally?
I think, and even throughout the game today, this aspect is a very good point you asked me, because I was thinking about this. I had a chat with one of my friends. He's a coach, he's a mentor, and a very close friend of mine. But he does coaching over here for cricket as well, for different clubs, for even one of the universities based in UAE. And I had a chat with him. I said, any tips? And he said, look, they're good, but they're nothing that you can't play, right? So it's okay. And that quickly just, calms down your nerves. Because regardless, whatever level any player is playing, whether you see any player stars from India, Pakistan, Australia, New Zealand, there's always nerves. We're humans, it's part of our emotional system. There are always nerves. So these little pep talks, little guidelines, they really, really calm you down. And that's when you can perform. Because when you're a little nervous, you tend to not play like your natural game. You're trying too hard to be successful, and in that process, you make mistakes. So when you're comfortable, you're relaxed, uh, you let your instincts take over. And this is where the instincts come in, because if you're like a seasoned player, you've played for a few years, of course, you've built muscle memory, right? So when that situation happens, not just that you look at it and you think about how I'm going to respond to it, but your body sits because it's already been in that situation, so it helps you deliver the result. So I think it's a very, very important thing to be mentally prepared. You have the skill, but mental aspect is very important. That's why, like, you've seen every sport that you take, football, cricket, tennis, you've got coaches, physios, physicians, mental mentors. Sometimes they bring in legends of the game, and they're not really there to coach. There's already a coach, but they're just for the morale booster, because just them being around you or in the dugout with the pavilion with the boys, it really like boosts up. And it's the you feed off their confidence and their energy. So it makes a big difference, honestly.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Right. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back after the break.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar Al-Duri on Pulse 95.
And welcome back to the Halftime Show with the fantastic Abdulah Ghazi. He's someone who's been on the show before and someone that we're a fan of. I have to say, Abdullah, having been a fly on the wall and witnessing your journey, not just as a cricket player, as an athlete, as a person, it's been an absolute pleasure to kind of see that. And there's been a lot of growth, not just in yourself, but also in the region. UAE's very own International League T20. Tell us what to expect for its second season, being someone who's in the game himself.
Thank you for, like, firstly, being so supportive, and your encouragement. It really makes a lot of difference. The more it comes, it's never you can never have enough of it. Basically, as a player, you feed off the energy of people supporting you, people watching you. That's why a lot of players. I was recently watching David Beckham's documentary, and he said that we feed off the crowd, the people, everything. So the people are outside the field, their opinion, their emotions, how if you let them down or if you've made them proud, it really makes a difference as a player. That's what you want to put a smile on everybody who's supporting you and make them proud. Secondly, coming to the UAE and the cricket in the region, it's really booming. It's great to see that this year was the first time that UAE launched its own franchise league with 6 teams in it. And it's called ILT, International T20 League. And next year it's coming up with bigger names, a lot of big, famous players from Australia, Pakistan, England. They're all participating. So that's a lot of growth. They've recently done a development tournament for the UAE as well, where again the format was 6 teams, players who are performing well in the domestic circuit were taken on those teams, and then whoever delivered in that setup got a chance to be part of the bigger franchise. So it's great growth for upcoming players, teenagers who want to like take up the sport, get serious in it, because now there are opportunities, and they could be looking at this because of these leagues, right? And a lot of tournaments that are telecasted live, they can be spotted out by scouts and agents across. And there are leagues happening everywhere in the Caribbean, in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, Sri Lanka, like England, Australia, everywhere. So the opportunity is so much for the kids coming up, because it's not like how it used to be a few years ago, that unless you play international, nobody would really get to see you. But now, even at the domestic levels, in the domestic leagues, you get to show your skill, and there's always a possibility that somebody might scout you.
With that mindset and what you've just said now, those aspiring cricket players that are looking to make it to the very top, what advice would you give them?
Look, I think they need to because the opportunities are coming up, so is the competition. It's going to be a lot of kids playing, a lot of new fanboys that are coming up and they're seeing and they want to be part. So you got to be on your toes from the start. You got to be serious. If you want to play, you can't kind of want to play and then, just chill out and maybe skip training. And I don't want to, do my fitness or my skill training. And you've got to get serious. If you want to make it, you got to get serious because this is serious business, right? It's top level sport. It's international sport. So you've got to really be willing to put in the effort to make it. The opportunity is there. Now it's up to you if you're going to be serious about this or you're going to be just like, you know what, I'll skip it. I'll go to the cinema. I'll skip training. I'll just play PlayStation with my friends. I don't, because if you do that, then there's a possibility that there is another person who's not going to miss out on that opportunity. And it might be his day. He might not have been getting the opportunity because maybe you were performing so well, but because you let go, the other guy got the opportunity and you might lose it. So competition is getting more intense even at the junior level. So you've got to really push yourself to grab this opportunity with both hands.
Fantastic
Because
advice,
if
right?
you do, honestly, if you do, I mean, I wish when we were teenagers, we got this opportunity. This is like a dream. UAE is the place to be if you're a sports person, whether it's football. I've been following your leagues as well. That football, that the guys are doing well, and I don't think the amount of exposure that you're getting here, you get that anywhere else in the world. I recently went on holiday to England, met my friends. My friends are playing there in the counties and everything, and even they spoke up. They're like, man, the opportunities that you guys are getting in the UAE, like that's really something.
Is that a sign of the growth out in the region?
100%. I would say that because the whole region, all the countries, they're trying to develop. They want to be the now place. They want to develop every sector. The governments, the boards, everybody's getting serious to develop whatever it is, hospitality, medical services, whatever it be. They're focusing a lot on sports, as we can see in recent times. We see in newspapers a lot of Emirati-based sports people are now making a name. Recently, one of the boxers won the Asian, first time ever, won a bout at the Asian Games. That's huge. So there's a lot of infrastructure that is being built there, and it's open for like if you're here, you're putting in the effort, you want to try your luck. All right, let's have a look.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Okay, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back after this.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar Al-Duri on Pulse 95.
And welcome back to the Halftime Show. Really interesting episode so far with Abdulah Ghazi regarding cricket. We weren't just talking cricket, we're talking the mental side of the game. We're talking about cricket in the region as well, the opportunities for the aspiring UAE cricket players based here or even around the world who want to come out here. So a very, very cool insight. Check out the podcast if you've missed it so far. Right. Okay. Segment 3, we're diving straight into it. Earlier, Abdullah, I couldn't help but hear you talk about guidance and mentorship and support. How important is it to have the right guidance and, if possible, to have the right mentor?
Look, I've realized over the years I've been literally playing serious cricket for the last 15 years now. It's a long time. I've learned a lot. I've experienced a lot. The earlier you get the right guidance, the right mentorship, the right people to support you, the easier it becomes for you to excel. Because unlike any other career, your retirement age isn't 65, right? Sports is very, very short. Like you'd be lucky if like a modern day athlete is pushing to 40 now, which was unheard of a few years ago, 10 years ago, right? People in their early 30s and they would retiring. But the modern athletes in all sports are really pushing the limits now. They're showing Ronaldo, and then there's a lot of cricketers as well, Shoaib Malik to name one. They're in their early 40s and they're still playing franchise leagues because they're fit and their skill has developed. So you literally have, let's say, maybe 10 years, 10, 15 years to really make it. So the earlier you get the right guidance and right mentorship, the easier it becomes for you. Because the older you get and you still haven't reached a certain level, because of whatever reason, your chances are diminishing, because there are young kids that are coming up who are younger, as skillful. The next generation is always like a little ahead of, the older one. So now the opportunities are limited. It's not unlimited opportunities. So the spots are there to grab. So it's you against them. And any sporting organization always prefers the younger you are, the better, because they can have a long career. They can use your skills, use your abilities for a longer period of time.
One thing I have noticed, and I have to give you full credit for, is your body language is very different to us having a conversation a couple of years ago. And I remember this very well. But can you tell the audience and the listeners what you've done to be like this now? Because it's been quite a remarkable transformation from the person that I saw 2 years ago to the person that's speaking to me now on camera, with plenty, hundreds and hundreds of listeners, tuned into you now.
I think, of course, your exposure helps you like elevate yourself in every aspect, in your communication as well. You learn, the quicker you learn, the easier it gets. And also, if you've put in the hard work, behind your skills, behind whatever set of skills or whatever you're working towards, then you're going to be more calm, because again, you worked so hard to minimize the errors that you would make. So that gives you the confidence that, look, I've done my homework, I know what I'm doing, uh, I've done the hard yards, so the chances are I should do well. And because in the last 2 years or so, I've really like tried my best, my level best, to like do as well as I can, groom myself, improve my skills, learn from my mistakes, and try to minimize whether there are skill errors or fitness errors or whatever. Because again, competition is fierce, right? You cannot just take anything for granted. Any day anybody can just turn up, because the next person is trying as hard as you. So it's literally just who's trying more hard. So you've got to give your best, because I don't want to have a regret. I have certain goals, whether I make it to that goal or not, but I will still have progressed. I would have enjoyed the journey, I would have given my best. So as long as you've given your best, rest is fate, destiny, Allah's hand, Allah's will. So you'd be content that, look, I've tried my level best here.
Well done, man. I think a credit needs to go to you as well. I think everything that you've done, and I've kind of seen that again from afar, but also closer as well. Just our conversations every now and then offline, when there's no camera, when there's no microphone, when there's no headset. I think it's been great to see, and I think you deserve it. Not just the hard work, but also in terms of the type of person that you are. So congratulations to you on that.
Thank you. I mean, I learned something very early in my life, that you have to be disciplined, you have to be consistent, and hard work never goes to waste. Never, ever. There is not even a 1% chance or 0.1% chance that your hard work will not bear results and it will go to waste. When you have that belief that, look, I'm putting in the work, it's got to give some results, then you become more calm. You're like, okay, I just need to keep on doing what I'm doing, and I just need to wait for my moment.
Fantastic. Okay, right. We got one more segment coming up, folks. So don't go anywhere. More from Abdulah Ghazi and Omar Al-Duri on the Halftime Show on Pulse 95 Radio.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar Al-Duri on Pulse 95.
And welcome back to the Halftime Show. Can't believe it's almost full time on the Halftime Show, and seeing that I have an extraordinary cricket player, Abdulah Ghazi, on the show, it's only right I talk to him about the Cricket World Cup. Abdullah, how are you feeling about this, and what's been your take on it so far?
It's been very, very interesting. It's been very unpredictable. A lot of new records are being made. Old records are being broken. Literally before our conversation, I was glued to the phone. I was watching Pakistan play, and it was a nail biter. So it's very interesting World Cup, and a lot of upcoming teams that weren't considered in the top 8 world cricketing powers
Mhm.
are performing well. Afghanistan has beat England. Netherlands has beat South Africa. Sri Lanka has beat England. It's unbelievable. It's growth. It's
Mm.
growth for the sport. It's growth for everybody who's not in a cricketing big nation. That
Mm.
cricket is developing. Governments, ICC, everybody's trying to promote the game. People from different countries are now coming up trying to show
Mm.
their skill. So it's great for overall the sport. Of course, if you're a fan of the losing team, it's not that great.
Mm.
But in another few years, we're going to have, I really believe, new countries emerging, and UAE should be one of them. That would be considered quite a formidable side in the cricket world.
Mm. How close are the UAE to being one of those nations that maybe shocks a big nation?
Very close,
Mm.
very close. They've been part of the last T20 World Cup. They meet Namibia at the World Cup. That was one of the first wins. So they were part of the Asia Cup as well before that. So UAE started to really qualify for the big tournaments, the big world leagues, and that's great signs that the cricketers in the domestic circuit are really pushing the limits. They're creating an environment of good competitiveness where you enhance your skill and you can compete with the best of the best in the world, who literally eat, sleep, and play cricket. That's their full-time role, and they've been doing it for years. So to compete against teams like England, Australia, Pakistan, India, that's a lot of exposure. And of course, like I said in the start, it's nerves. You think like, wow, they're like cricketing giants until you play them once, and you're like, okay, you know what? They're just like me. There are other humans, there are other players, they're doing that. So you get over that fear, and the more exposure that the UAE gets to playing with these countries, the better the cricket level is going to be.
Mm. Anyone from the UAE scene or the domestic leagues for us to look out for?
Oh yeah, yeah. The UAE captain currently, Mohammad Wasim, he's in the top 10 T20 batters in the world. He's really performing in all the leagues. He is really a top talent. So a lot of my friends, even in the UK, they know of him. People are talking about him. I've seen in the talk shows when they discuss, they really take his name. He's been a big name now in the franchise leagues. He's played in the US in the first Major League Cricket. So US is really coming up. So Mohammad Wasim is a top talent from the UAE, definitely to look out for.
Fantastic. Well, listen, again, thank you for taking time out. I know you've just come out of a cricket match and then you went straight into speaking to us here on the halftime show. As always, man, it's so good to see you doing well.
It's always a
And
pleasure.
I'm super proud to be able to have that connection with you where you can come on and tell us about your experiences. That is super, super key. So thank you very much, Abdullah.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure, and sharing the insights, which I believe a lot of people don't know.
Fantastic, fantastic. Have a wonderful night. And on the halftime show, we welcome you always to tune in every Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, 3 to 4 UAE time to experience fantastic guests like Abdullah Ghazi. Abdullah, take care. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Omar. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.